This video is sponsored by Helsinki Metal Festival 2023.
Hello everybody out there, this is Kai.
And Michael.
And we are booked for the Helsinki Metal Fest as headliners on the
11th of August.
11th.
After all the cancellations and stuff, we're happy to finally come to your country.
Yeah. Come
See you
watch
there
us.
then.
Yeah.
Welcome to Rauta's Underground Trio Reviews. Once again, we have three different bands from the black metal underground, and none of these are exactly big. None of them have multiple albums. In fact, none of them have here more than one album, and even one band doesn't even have one album out, just EPs. Now, this is mere coincidence, but all these bands tend to be from the same label, that is Wolfspell Records. Well, what is also a coincidence, purely I might add, is that none of the releases are exactly good. I'm not saying they are bad, but they're somewhere between decent and mediocrity. Now that I have said it already, I can pretty much show you what we have here. And it seems like we have two bands from Finland and one band from Poland. And this is a new band called Staota. And this one is a digipack with Finnish tracks inside. Unihauta, Dream Grave, translated literally. And indeed, very basic digipack, as you can see. Microphone is a little bit on the way, so let's move it. So this one doesn't have a booklet, so very bare bone release as such. No lyrics whatsoever, no band photos, minimal information. All in all, like there is no information whatsoever. Let's move on. Then we have this solo project called Mierko, and to be honest, I was expecting some kind of a, I don't know, Eastern European band, maybe Polish, because the label is Polish and all that stuff. Okay, I'm not gonna force it. This jewel case is very tight here, so if I was to remove it, just might get broken. I don't want to do that to my CDs, if not forced, and if not mandatory. And moments of light and dark. Sounds already very atmospheric and moody, and that's exactly the case with this one. One could make a point that this is certain kind of a side project of a thing, and might be actually true, but let's talk about it a little bit later. This one actually indeed has a booklet with lyrics printed and all that stuff, but other than that, quite minimal in nature. And then we have the Polish band Ohyda, which I have previously featured. This is the third EP by the band, having 4 songs, about 20 something minutes, less than 30 minutes anyway. This one is the best looking in terms of releases here. I mean, having the kind of a Xerox copied cover image and cover art and all that stuff. Well, very close to it anyway, but oops. And also has a booklet for cover art and information, and of course lyrics, few pages for you people to read. I don't know about you people, but this is Polish, so my language skill is limited with that. And then it has more art and of course the artist lineup. So 3 different bands, but what is wrong with these bands? Because none of them are exactly good. I feel kind of sorry to say that, because usually when I do underground trio videos, there's at least some band which is like, hey, this is the best of the pile, and something which is probably not. But these are roughly the same level. None of them are pure mediocrity. All they have some kind of potential, you know, some ideas which definitely make them a little bit better than that. But none of them really like make me feel, yeah, I wanna talk about them, praise all these bands so much, because well, they kind of all have their minor problems. First, let's go to Staota. So this order of bands, by the way, when I always say this is from worst to best, now it's more like from decent to decent. None of these really outshine the others, so these could be in any order, but maybe this would be the order I would rate them if I was like having a gun pointing at my palm. So, indeed, we start with Staota. And the first album is Unihauta. This band has couple of demos out, an EP. So one could even make the thing, wonder that, okay, this must be a little bit honed, but not really. 10 tracks, some 34 minutes. And this sounds like a Finnish band which is inspired by other Finnish bands. I'm thinking maybe these guys listen to a lot of Horna albums or whatever, and this is what you get as a result. Now, a lot of people pointed out back in the days that Horna was very much inspired by Norwegian black metal bands of the early 90s. So it's not like that band went to, the original source of black metal, be it, Celtic Frost or Venom or whatever. I mean, that was the allegation anyway. But this seems almost like if that was a little bit, not necessarily diluted, but kind of a recycled version of what was going on in the 90s. Now this seems like they go to recycle whatever Horna has leftovers and try to make it sound the same. And unfortunately, it sounds kind of diluted. The thing here is, everything here is very, very listenable. I mean, you listen to this and figure out quickly, this is Finnish black metal. And those are pretty much the only praises you get to hear about it. None of these songs are bad, but they're very, very forgettable. I mean, it's like filled with kind of basic riffs. I was kind of wanted to say filler riffs, but that sounds way too negative. None of these really stick. But then again, none of that is crap like, why on earth would you do that kind of material? It's more like, is this how inspired you are? Like, why would I go back to this one when there are plenty of others? On top of that, insult to injury kind of a thing is that the production is quite weak, which doesn't really give this album the punch it needs. There is no kick, there is no drama, there is just a kind of a rehearsal room take. So to me it sounds much like this is a demo version what could have been out there as a physical album. It's not bad, but really, who needs more of these basic black metal albums? If you're new to the Finnish black metal scene, maybe this will be one of your like wow moments. But if you have heard dozens and dozens of them over the years or decades, this is not gonna change your mind into like, wow, this is something big. So kind of a forgettable, unfortunately. The next one, Mierko, is also from Finland, and this seems to be one man only. Well, here you see this is mentioned as War Moon Lord live member. Let's assume this is true, I don't know. But the thing here is, this is atmospheric black metal. And much like Staota, this also suffers from the rather weakish production. I don't know if the drums are real or machine, and that's not a compliment, because sometimes it sounds like those cymbal sounds is more like, this must be drum machine, because the sound is not good. On the other hand, this is also very listenable. None of it really annoys you, but it's kind of forgettable and it's kind of seeping into the background even if you wanted to focus on it. Because, let's be honest about it, this songwriting isn't too shabby, but it's kind of a typical atmospheric black metal in the sense that it's kind of like, it fits in the background. It's not annoying and all that stuff, and the songs tend to be way too lengthy. That is, you don't really have the kind of a sense of drama and the sense that, okay, this now repeats certain riffs because they are good and as such making memorable ones. None of this is memorable. I was struggling to even remember something after a couple of spins, so I kind of forced myself like, let's dig something out. But it's like going through the dirt without finding pieces of gold or even interesting pieces of rock. So you're like, you don't hate dirt. I mean, dirt is mandatory for plants and stuff, but it's like, why would you keep digging if there are no gold nuggets to be found? So it's just you get your hands dirty, and in the end you're like, okay, but at least I got the job done. Good luck, good job digging a ditch. What are you gonna do with it? So unfortunately, with this one, Mierko has the very same problem with Staota, sounding very demo-like. So my advice for this kind of bands is, first do a couple of demos, hone it, make it sound better, remove the filler elements, focus on the good stuff, focus on the songwriting and composition so that it actually sounds like this is it. Don't fill it with filler riffs, because the end result is just background music. Now if you like background black metal, bedroom background, should I say background? Yeah, I think background bedroom black metal. If you like that kind of stuff, this is your stuff. Take it as negative as you need to, or take it positive ways. Sometimes what you really need is a kind of a background bedroom stuff. Anyway, let's move on. Fast one. well, kind of a true, is Ohyda, and this one is imieniu Bestii. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't pronounce it proper, but pretend to pronounce it properly. So many P words. This is the second EP, and it seems here the band has already put out a new one. So already 2 EPs out in 2022 and 1 from 2023. It sounds like they are going too hastily through it, given that the band is only 2 years of age. And while the previous EP was actually quite good, this is a little bit of a step back. Don't get me wrong, throughout these 4 songs and some 24 minutes, this is the kind of a grim black metal with a little bit on the rawish side. And there are certain parts where it's like, yeah, it's gonna fly, and then you feel like, okay, now comes the fiddler riff and another one. So much like Staota and Mierko once again, this is also enjoying way too much its filler riffs and weak production. And while I do like raw black metal, I still kind of it needs to make impact, sound raw and bestial and vicious. This is more like vicious and raw and all that stuff. So it's kind of like, yeah, you can say it's metal, but it's not steel, it's not even iron, it's definitely not some, I don't know, some badass titanium. It's more like aluminium. You bend it and it doesn't sound like strong. This is a problem with Ohyda production. So kind of a grim, kind of a raw, basic black metal, but sounding way too aluminium-like. And that's the weak point. However, still the best of the pile by an inch or so. Definitely has some good ideas, but much like the other bands in question here, still too demo-like to make it to an album. Then again, this is an EP, so maybe that's the thing to console yourself with. So, to sum it up all, we have 3 different demo-level recordings on a CD. Now, if you're ready for that kind of a commitment and want to, make your collection bigger, go for all of these. But none of these really stick out from the crowd, and all are more or less mediocrity rather than good ones. Take it as you wish. Links are provided in the description box. Go check them out if you want to, but I cannot vouch them being really good ones. So there is that. Thanks for watching the review. Should you have questions or comments, put them on the comments box below and I'll get back to you. Bye bye.